Well, in the 5 years that I've been working here, I never saw tracks before in the woods. And this year, with all the snow, there's hundreds of footprints coming through.
Nous avons un accord du pays sûr. Cet accord, on peut les renvoyer aux États-Unis.
People in our country illegally can self-deport the easy way, or they can get deported the hard way, and that's not pleasant. But if they do not avail themselves of this opportunity, then they will be found, they will be deported, and they will never be admitted again to the United States.
Alexa Lavoie here for Rebel News, reporting from the U.S.-Canada border in Quebec, near where Roxham Road used to be. Back in 2017, during Trump's first term, thousands of asylum seekers ran north, fearing deportations. Then, Trudeau signaled an open border policy with a Twitter publication, and many crossed illegally into Canada. Fast forward to 2023. Roxham Road is closed. Canada and the U.S. expanded the Safe Third Country Agreement to the whole border, closing a loophole. Now, asylum seekers must claim protection in the first safe country they reached. Those from the U.S. should be turned back. But if they are not caught within 14 days, they can still apply for refugee status and avoiding the agreement. Criminal organizations are smuggling people across the border, sometimes with drugs and weapons, exploiting gaps. It's a growing issue in Canada. Today, I'm at Saint-Bernard-de-Lacolle, port of entry. A fresh surge is coming from the U.S. And why? But first of all, Trump is back, vowing to deport millions. And on April 7, the Supreme Court lifted a deportation ban. And now Trump wants to add fines to the people who are failing to comply to the deportation. It's $998 a day, retroactive 5 years, and property seizures if people are not going to deport themselves.
Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people, many of them criminals, many of them at the highest level. They emptied jails out. Other nations emptied their jails into the United States. That's an invasion. And these are criminals, many, many criminals. Murderers, drug dealers at the highest level, drug lords, people from mental institutions.
He is also revoking temporary protected status for 530,000 migrants, including 200,000 Haitians on April 24. More people, especially Haitians, are hitting illegal crossings like this one. But how many slip through undetected?
Il y a des migrants haïtiens en ce moment qui fuient les États-Unis pour rentrer au Canada de façon irrégulière parce qu'ils fuient Donald Trump. Est-ce qu'on doit les renvoyer ou les accueillir?
Premièrement, je reconnais la forte accroissement des demandeurs d'asile qui viennent des États-Unis. Nous avons un accord du pays sûr, en effet, avec les États-Unis. Et c'est dans cet accord, on peut les renvoyer aux États-Unis. Selon moi, ça c'est approprié, ça reste approprié.
Contrairement à ce que M. Trudeau disait, lui disait, venez les accueillir, vous êtes prêts à vous...
Oui, la situation aux États-Unis a bien changé. Parce qu'il existe maintenant la possibilité d'une vague des demandeurs d'asile. Et il faut travailler, il faut que le Canada et les États-Unis travaillent dans une plus étroite collaboration afin de gérer cette situation. C'est pas acceptable que les États-Unis nous donnent tout leur leur demandeurs d'asile, en effet. Alors, la situation a bien changé maintenant. OK? Merci.
Will Canada stick to the agreement and send them back, or use exemptions like humanitarian ones and let some stay here in Canada? It's unclear. Ottawa's building sprung shelters, and Mark Carney's announced $25 billion for fast modular housings, with no plan to lower immigration caps.
We're looking to double the rate of home building, as you would have seen, through new technologies in part, and Canadian innovation in modular housing, mass timber, etc. That's actually, it's better for people who buy the homes. Their homes cost less, they're cheaper to run. It's also much, much lower emission.
Are we facing another wave of immigration? The CBSA just published the rules for refugee claims, a checklist of what you need to show and prove. But it feels shaky, because why giving them those details in advance? Last year, the government was looking for more space at the border for potential migrant surge. They sent out a call for bids. The contract starts May 1st. Rumor has it the Saint-Bernard-de-Lacolle hotel, which hosts migrants before, applied.
Je voulais savoir, est-ce que c'est possible de louer des chambres ici?
Non, c'est fermé, c'est rendu site gouvernemental.
I contacted RFP Canada to obtain further details. They confirmed that Group EGL Inc. had been awarded the contract. This group owns Hotel Le Saint-Bernard located at the border. The same building, through that same group, EGL, had secured a similar contract back in 2018. Additionally, an employee confirmed that expansion work is underway and that additional employee is currently being recruited. While everyone's buzzing about official crossings, the real mess might be on the land. People we spoke today said there is a growing crossings illegally into Canada. Here is one of my interviews that happened today.
Well, there's a lot of traffic coming across, footprints through the snow. This is no man's land at the border. The border is just 800 feet away from us here, and it goes for 3,000 feet behind this farm. And so there's a lot of footprints in the snow this year, and we had a lot of snow. We had 4 and 5 feet of snow in the woods, and people were coming through there. There's tracks all over coming to get on the road that was snow plowed. I've never saw tracks before like this, and I've been working here for 5 years now, and 4 years in the woods cutting logs. I logged off 400 acres here. My son saw scattered a group running down the road trying to get away from him. They were scared. They thought they were being caught. So that was pretty disturbing. We found a bag of clothes, children's clothes, some boots and slacks and sweaters and toys and pillows. Just the beginning of the week, there was 14 police vehicles on this road, and helicopters were going over. 2 of them, plus the one that patrols the border all the time. We see him every day, and sometimes twice a day. He patrols the border. He's been doing that for years. A lot of action over there, and seriously, we're trying to find something. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was the people that were bringing them here, the migrants, or picking them up, or if it was the migrants themselves that were coming across. But they have cameras all over the place, and it's impossible to get away with anything.
People in our country illegally can self-deport the easy way, or they can get deported the hard way, and that's not pleasant. The Biden administration exploited the CBP-1 app to allow more than 1 million aliens to illegally enter the United States. Now my administration is launching the CBP Home app to give people in our country illegally an easy way to leave now and self-deport voluntarily. If they do, they could potentially have the opportunity to return legally at some point in the future. But if they do not avail themselves of this opportunity, then they will be found, they will be deported, and they will never be admitted again to the United States.
Especially with the arrival of Trump in power, did you see a changing, maybe more track, more people, more action happening over here?
Well, in the 5 years that I've been working here, there never saw tracks before in the woods. And this year, with all the snow, there's hundreds of footprints coming through in the thick, heavy snow and underbrush. It's hard traveling through here, and but there's a lot of people. So since February or so, I'm quite amazed at the amount of traffic that's taken place.
Do you think we have enough security, border patrol, like RCMP, police, enough effective for stopping what is going on?
I don't know what else they can do. They have police stay on this road quite often all night long, and all the other roads they have RCMP and police watching them. That's most of the time when people are coming across the borders, not very often in the daytime. It would be a big safety factor to stop them from coming through, or to at least be there when they're coming through for their safety's sake, because they're suffering terribly, those people. Some of them have no boots or shoes coming through the snow. You don't last long like that. 10 or 15 minutes and you're out of power. We've heard of some rescues that had taken place just like that. And it was just in the nick of time. And there was only a few miles from here. I feel really bad for the people themselves, you know. I have never met any bad ones, but we hear lots of news and lots of stories of big groups that come through. And we hear that firsthand, not from the news, but we hear that from people who are living in their different areas in the bigger cities like Montreal and Toronto. We just heard on Monday that there was 600 people that came across in Saint-Bernard-de-Lacolle, Hemingford area on the Roxham Road, where they used to accept people all the time. That area was closed off last year now, but there was 600 that came through that area in just a few weeks ago.
Who actually told you this?
The RCMP.
And did they say anything else?
No, but I was in the area visiting some people for the wood material that we're selling. They see action every day, all day long and all night long. On the Roxham Road. They live right on the Roxham, just about 300 feet from the end. And so they say they see a lot of action happening all the time.
Following the allegation of this man, I contacted the RCMP to obtain more information. I asked whether several hundred people had crossed at Roxham Road in recent weeks. They replied that they could not share the number of interceptions at the border, but that no significant increase had been observed along the border. Curiously, regarding the second allegation, a police operation on Monte Clinton Road, they stated that 9 people had been arrested for illegal entry, as well as 2 Canadian citizens who were waiting for the immigrants in their vehicle. So they were able to disclose the number of interceptions in that case, but not for the Roxham Road situation. I will let you draw your own conclusions for now, especially since access to that information could take several months. The system in Canada is just crumbling. We can't take all the people around the world, and we need to make it clear to the people who are at the charge of this country that we need to stop this mass immigration. If you agree, go and sign our petition at netzeroimmigration.com, sign the petition, and if you want, you can also support our journalism by chipping in. Thank you in advance.